Welcome back to the SMT YouTube channel. Wouldn't be a full earnings season if we didn't cover big cable. And we got one company reporting. This one, we're going to focus on Charter Spectrum. Next week, we'll go ahead. I think it's Thursday or something. We'll cover the Comcast piece with Xfinity. But this is really somber, actually. Charter Q2 2025. It's really, really bad. We're talking about after earnings, the stock had its worst day in terms of performance ever in the history of the company since going public back in 1999. Down almost 19% today. They're hitting a 52-week low, obviously, and they're down, I think, 14 or 15% on the year. But so here's the numbers. Financials, they generated $13.77 billion in revenue, which is up year over year. Earnings per share is up year over year as well, but below estimates. $10.7 billion in residential revenues. I think it was about $3 billion in business revenues. $6 billion in revenue for its residential internet, which is its biggest segment of its business. $0.921 million in residential or consumer mobile revenues. And we're going to get to that momentarily. I'm going to explain to you guys why this really matters. Next, we have $3.5 billion in residential video, a dying business for them. $346 million in residential voice revenues. $1.8 billion in commercial revenues, whatever that is, and then $371 million in advertising sales. Now, with respect to its core business, the internet customer number decreased. They lost 117,000 customers. And I think this might be a little bit less year over year. I think they lost like 140,000 a year ago quarter, something along those lines. Let's see here. What else should we know? They lost, I think, video customers, they lost 80,000. I think internet business customers, they lost 7,000. Residential phones, they lost 211,000. Residential broadband customer count is now 27.87 million. Business broadband is about 2.1 million. If you guys remember, T-Mobile now has that business deal with them, so that's why this is kind of important, the addressable market for them. I went ahead and crunched some numbers. I think the ARPU for residential broadband and business broadband for Charter Spectrum is like $200 a customer. They get money on a per customer basis, but they're losing customers. They now have 11 million mobile lines, and you kind of think about that, and you take like I think they said they make $921 million, and I can basically just run that as a calculation, and I can see exactly how much they make per line, right? And I can calculate their ARPU and and all the free lines that they're giving out, and it's like the irony of it all, guys, is this: they're giving away free mobile lines, they're giving away discounted lines to try to prevent the hemorrhaging and the losses, but they're still losing. This is a really, really tough time for them. Think about it. Imagine if you are actively trying to plug a hole in a boat. You're doing everything you can. Buckets, the bucket brigade, throwing the water out. You're trying to plug the holes, but the water just keeps coming in the boat, right? I mean, it's bad. I understand that. I was reading about the CEO. He was defending the Cox merger. He says it creates free cash flow synergies and all these other things. Obviously, it consolidates market share. I mean, I get it. They're acquiring customers who actually have a higher ARPU than even Charter Spectrum has. But just put this in perspective. With cell phone internet, the fixed wireless access providers, T-Mobile and Verizon namely, but now AT&T is involved. Verizon added 300,000 fixed wireless access customers. They added 32,000 in Fios. AT&T adds 240,000 fiber customers and 204,000 fixed wireless customers, 5G home internet. And then T-Mobile adds 450,000 5G home internet customers. We're talking about over 1.2 million customers. That means the mobility companies are taking 110% of the market share. The SOGA, the shares of the gross ads, they're taking everything plus some. They're taking the ones that are leaving cable, namely here Spectrum. So 117,000 in losses probably turns out to be about $300 million in annual loss. But this is happening quarterly. So it's a multiplier every year. So if they keep losing like this, we're talking about $1 billion lost in their core business. And then, you think about it, they're losing to fixed wireless access, cell phone internet, which they've been lying to people for years, saying that those customers will be back, and those customers are just there temporarily, and it's cell phone internet, and it's slow and useless, and nobody wants it, and it's the bottom. But like, Fios is growing, even if it's slowly. AT&T fiber is growing. Fixed wireless access is growing. They're doing all the share taking, which is about $1 billion annually in revenues that Charter Spectrum no longer has. Do you see what I'm saying? They're in trouble. Look at this. I want to show you guys something. This is crazy. All right, so here is the stock, right? Let me go ahead and zoom in for you guys so you guys can see a little better. This is just today, all right? Down 18.5%. Let's take it over the week. They're down almost 20%. Here's over the last month. They're down 22.34%. 6 months, they're still down. Down over the last year, or this year to date, so this calendar year. Okay, so I believe the SPY, the S&P 500, is up like 20% this year or something, maybe more. This stock's down 1.75%. Do I dare look at the 5-year? Minus 45%. And if I zoom out, we're talking about a company, guys, that in the heart of the pandemic was trading at like $600 some. I think it peaked. Maybe something along those lines. If I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember. Oh no, it peaked over 800. Oh my God. Back in 2021, it peaked over 800. Because remember, in the pandemic, you had to have the best internet and needed the uplink, and they were just, everybody had to have it. They're working from home, non-negotiable. And look at how they have fallen over time. How's that cell phone internet doing for you, Charter? How is it doing? I called this a long time ago. I told anybody who was willing to listen, I told them that fixed wireless access was coming. And here we are today looking at Charter. And by the way, Charter Spectrum was buying back shares of their company at $800 and some odd. That's what they were doing with their free cash flows. Instead of reinvesting into the network, right? Now they're still behind. Now they're even more further behind, right? Because they got to pay dividends. They got to do these other things, these corporate actions. Like they're falling way behind, and fiber's kicking their ass, and fixed wireless access, cell phone internet's kicking their ass. This needs to be discussed in like business classes. This needs to be printed into textbooks on how not to run a business, how to run a business into the ground, how to fail, even when you were too big to fail. Like, this is crazy. To have a non-replaceable utility like connectivity, like internet, and still find a way to do this. This is crazy. I used to think that the Sprint CEOs were the worst. I gotta give it to this CEO. Who is it? Is it Winfrey or is it Roberts? I forget who the Charter Spectrum guy is. Charter CEO. Let's see real quick. Oh, it is Chris Winfrey. He's been the CEO since December of 2022. Yeah, so 2022. I don't know what you've been doing, sir. Stock was at 610. You're trading at 309. You lost half your market cap. Oh, by the way, they lost 1/5 of their market cap today, being down like 19%. So, yeah, it's awful. It is really bad. They're currently at $42.78 billion in market cap. My goodness. I don't even know what Comcast is going to report. There's no way it could be this bad. What do you guys think? Anyways, let me know what you guys think of Charter Spectrum, their current situation. It's ugly. It's bad. Really bad. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe, check out some more. See you guys soon on the next one.